this is a quick video on how to make a token for our geocaches. We're going to need 4 different shapes. Let's start with the token itself, which is going to be a cylinder. We're going to click and drag it onto the board, and we want to make it maybe about 20 by 20 millimeters, and let's make it about 5 millimeters high. And then we're going to want to have the edge of it. Okay, and since the cylinder is 5 millimeters, maybe we want to extend it up 1 millimeter and down 1 millimeter. So let's make this 7. Okay, and let's make the radius. If you remember your math class, a radius is half of the diameter. So it'll be 20 in diameter, which is the exact size of this cylinder, but we want it to be a little bit bigger so it fits around it. So let's make this actually 11. Okay, so it makes it a little bit bigger. And we can change the color just to make it a little easier to see. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to import an icon. I found an icon of a newspaper. And I'm gonna upload it in here, and maybe let's make it a little bit smaller. I could see that it's 24 by 24, which is a little bit too big for our token. So let's make it maybe let's scale it to about 60%. Okay, and so now you'll see that it's smaller. So we're gonna import it. And there is our newspaper, right? We're going to click on it and move it over. When you're finding an icon, it's kind of nice to find something that's a solid color and doesn't have too much detail. It'll make the printing more accurate and a little bit easier to design. So let's make this about 2 millimeters high. Okay. And we need one more thing, right? We need her initials. So we're going to take a text block. Let's drag that in there. And you're going to click in the text. You're going to say Ida B. Wells, IBW. And I'm going to pick this font. Okay. And let's make it also 2 millimeters high. And as you could tell, it's gigantic. It's not going to fit in our token. So we're going to click on this lower corner right here. And let's make this about 15 millimeters wide by 10 millimeters high. Okay, so now this is all going to fit in. So these are the 4 parts that we need. And now let's start putting them all together. Okay, we're going to take this one, and we're going to use the align tool, and we're going to align it in the center, horizontally and vertically. Okay, and now when you look at it, you'll see that there's a lip on one end but not so much on the other. Okay, which means that we need to click on this orange shape, and we need to click on the cone and lift it up 1 millimeter. Okay, and now when you look at it, it kind of has a little bit of a lip. Next thing we want to do is so let's select both of these shapes and let's group them together. Great. Now let's center this token and the text. So again, we're going to select the 2 shapes. Now there's 2 because we grouped the other one. And we're going to click the align tool, and we're going to align horizontally and vertically. But we don't see it. And that is because it is hiding underneath here. Okay, so that means that we need to lift it up. Great, so now I want to be able to lift these letters. So I'm under there and I am selecting those letters, and I know that the token is 5 millimeters wide, and it's actually lifted up off the ground a little bit. So I'm going to want to lift. I'm going to click on this cone right here, and I'm going to want to lift it. This is 5 for the height of the token, right? And 1 more for the lifting that we did. So now when I take a look at it, it should be sitting on top of the token. There we go. And it looks like it's hitting the edges of the rim. So maybe I want to make it a little bit smaller. Let's make it 14 by 8. And again, we're going to have to center it. So you can play around with it and see how big or small you want to make it, right? So it kind of centers, okay? And now we're going to group this again. So you're going to select everything. You can click and drag to select all of it and group it all together, okay? And while it's grouped, you see this little arrow here? We're going to rotate it, okay? So we're going to take the whole thing and rotate it. If you hit the shift button while you're rotating, it'll move in increments. Great. And now we're going to put the newspaper on the other side. So we're going to select the newspaper. We're going to select our token and let's align it again. And again, we don't see it, right? So let's use this cube to look at the bottom. Yep, and there it is. So we're going to select the token. Oops. Yep. And again, it's a little hard to see here. Okay, if you're ever, oh good, and you could tell that it's the pink one, so we have the right color, right? And again, we need to lift it up. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another one for the. Good, there we go. So about 6. Okay, and now when we look at it, we have a bottom, we have the letters, and we have a little icon. You could always make it bigger or smaller depending on what you think. Maybe we can make it about 12 by 9. Okay, and then again you can kind of, oops, you can select the 2 shapes. And then you'll see right here that I now selected 2 shapes, so I have them both, and then align them again in the middle. Okay, so once I have the token the way I like it, I'm going to select everything, and then again I'm going to group it, and now it's ready to be exported and printed. So I'm selecting everything, and I'm hitting the export button. And I want to export it in STL. That's the file that a 3D printer software needs. And then you'll see that it downloads in your download file. And so that's the file that you are going to email me so that I can print your token. That's it. That's a super quick overview on how to 3D design our geocache tokens. Good luck.